Okay, guys, I hope that you are digesting what we went through there in the correcting, and that all of it is making sense to you as you're correcting it. Now, what I want to talk about now for a little bit is your practice CBA work that you're doing for me. Now, the end date that we have on it is March 26th, but to be honest, just forget about that for the minute. There's a lot going on, and it'll take as long as it takes. As long as you're working away on it, I'm happy. So we're going to go through some of the questions and how you might go about answering them. Also, thank you very much to the people who have given me something to correct from them on their practice CBA. I will get feedback to you at some point later today. So if we go down to the questions that you guys have already done, the why, the who, what, where, when, how, and why, here, and then into the other questions that are a little bit more complicated. So what are the main environmental concerns? So this is any way that your event might have impacted on the environment. So if it was a volcano or a volcanic eruption, did it spew more gases into the atmosphere that could cause more global warming? If you revise this in your book, it'll give you some ideas. If it was an earthquake, did it cause line breaks of gas? That could be an environmental concern. Did it damage a lot of buildings that would need to be replaced? Also an environmental concern. Did it cause a nuclear reactor to melt down? Massive environmental concern. Now, anything to do with the next question, economic. So economic or economy, you've heard a lot in the news over the last week. It's to do with money and jobs. So with a volcanic eruption, there can be positive effects and there can be negative effects. So again, revise this in your book and see what fits with your event. And you should be able to find out something about it also online in your sources. With earthquakes, it's really only negative effects. So how much did it end up costing a country? How did it affect the economy? How did it affect jobs? The next two questions that we're going to have a little look at are what are the social impacts? So in terms of these, does it provide jobs or does it take away jobs? And if it takes away jobs, that's a really negative thing socially for people. Another social aspect of this would be, were people killed or injured by your event? So that's a social thing, and it would have a really lasting effect on a society or on a town or a village or whatever. And another thing in terms of the social that you could have a look at is, are people left or made homeless by this? So again, that would have an impact on an area, because if a lot of people are left homeless, it means they may have to move somewhere else, live in a refugee camp, etc., which is negatively very negative social impact for the individuals themselves, but also for the entire area. This one, are there any links in the geographical event between people and the environment, and how are they linked? So this is going a little bit back to what we were talking about here with the environmental concerns. So did people benefit from these, or did they not benefit? Were they negatively affected? So that could be everything from, in terms of earthquakes, it usually would be a negative impact, and in terms of volcanic, it could be negative or positive, but again, it's going to apply to whatever it is that you're covering. Okay, so that's as much as I'm going to say about that for the minute, and that's as far as I want you to go. but I would really appreciate it if I could start to see some of everybody's work on what you're doing for this, and seeing how you're planning, or have you thinking about how you want to present it. So do you want to have it typed? You don't have to. Are you going to write it up? If you're including diagrams, are you making sure they have a title, a frame, and are well labelled, well drawn, look attractive? Because after all, it is a project and it should look nice as well as give lots of information. Okay, so that's as much as I have to say on that for the minute.